Okay, so sometimes people have a problem where their center column assembly comes apart, and it's because there's this little C-clip on the bottom of the tripod, which I'm not sure you can see in the video. It basically holds the clamp assembly together so that when you raise the column and push the release button to flip it into horizontal position, that clamp or that C-clip can pop off if you're a little rough with it when doing it. Now, just a note, this clamp assembly is normally red. Mine is the new blackout edition, so it looks a little different. Don't let that fool you. I'm going to take this apart and show you how to put it back. Okay, so as mentioned, these are the parts that would come undone, and these two castings right here are normally red. You've got the castings, you've got the C-clip, the little, I'm going to call it a flipper. This is the piece that the column will rotate on when you flip it. And you've got this little wedge. Now this little guy can be a little bit tricky, just because it's so small and it's really easy to drop. But what we're going to do is support the casting in our hand like so. Get this flip assembly in position. Make sure that you have the horseshoe facing the right way. This is where the push button of the column is going to go. So that it flips in that axis. Now, because of the lighting, you may not be able to tell, but put the triangular wedge in curved side down and try not to drop it. This top casting is going to go on top of everything, and all these pins are going to line up. Like so. Next step is to put this in the tripod. Okay, so as you can see on the tripod, there is a notch right here opposite the logo and T-knob. That notch is going to align with that little triangle right there. So you want to pop this casting into that opening. It can sometimes be a little tricky just because of the break in the center column assembly, and sometimes it'll go right in without a hitch. So let's see how well we do today. Got it. Okay, time to put the column in. So on the bottom of the column you have this push button. This is what you hit when you flip it. So let's make sure that push button lines up with the horseshoe cutout in that flipper assembly that we mentioned before. And carefully drop that in so all the pieces are aligned. There we go. It helps sometimes to hit the push button on the bottom to release that spring-loaded piece. Okay, so the final step is to mount the C-ring, or the C-clip, whatever you want to call it. Now this thing can flex a little bit if it pops off, so a good practice is just give it a little smush. Nothing too much, because of course then it won't fit. But we don't want it to be too loose either. So we're going to slip it over the end of the column. And you can see there's a little notch here that matches this notch. So you just put one side of the clip in the groove and then kind of work it all the way around. This is the hardest part, especially if you gave it too much of a smush, but there we go. That wasn't too bad. Just give it a little squeeze just for good measure. And now your column assembly is back in place. So when we lift this up, push the button, everything works as it should.